Have you ever wondered why God makes us wait, even when we're praying with all our heart? Could there be something deeper happening in the silence? In today's video, we're going to uncover the hidden purpose behind spiritual delays and how surrendering your timeline can unlock a deeper trust in God. If you've ever felt stuck in the in-between, unsure of what comes next, or even tempted to give up, this message is for you. What if this season of waiting isn't punishment but preparation? You're watching Prayer Decode, where we break down the language of heaven through powerful prayers and biblical reflections. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss a moment of encouragement and revelation in your journey with God. Let's dive into the quiet beauty of surrender and find out why waiting might be the very thing your soul needs right now. Have you ever felt stuck in a space between what was and what's next? You're not lost, not forgotten, just ... waiting. The prayers have been whispered, the tears have been shed, and still no answer. That space, the quiet, stretched out pause, can feel endless. But this morning, I invite you to look at waiting differently. Waiting is not wasted time. It's sacred ground. Think about that. What if the silence is not abandonment, but invitation? What if this in-between space is where faith actually grows? Take a deep breath. Let your soul lean into this. God is present, even now. You see, we often think of surrender as a grand gesture, a moment of letting go in a dramatic crisis. But more often, surrender is quieter. It's found in the slow mornings when nothing seems to move, in the unanswered prayers, in the moments when you want to reach out and fix something, but instead, you open your hands and whisper, "Lord, I trust you, even now." I've been there, and maybe you're there right now. Let me tell you, it's okay if you're not feeling strong. It's okay if your faith feels tired, because the strength to wait well does not come from you. It comes from the one you're waiting on. You're not waiting for things to change. You're waiting with someone, and that changes everything. Let this truth soak in. You are not alone in the waiting. I used to think that if I prayed harder, if I fasted longer, if I could just get it right, God would move faster. I believed delays meant disappointment. But the more I've walked with Jesus, the more I've realized delay isn't denial. It's often divine preparation. Maybe you're asking, why can't I move forward? Why does it seem like everyone else is getting ahead while I'm standing still? Friend, comparison will kill your joy faster than any delay. Your story is not laid, it's layered. And God is not just writing an answer for you. He's writing transformation within you. In the stillness, God is shaping your heart. He's pulling away the false securities, the things we thought would bring us peace, and teaching us to depend on Him alone. There's beauty in that kind of surrender. It's not about getting the outcome we want. It's about becoming the person God is forming in the process. Remember Jesus? He waited 30 years before beginning His ministry. 30 years of quiet, ordinary obedience. And even then, He never rushed ahead of the Father's timing. That kind of waiting? It doesn't come from passivity. It comes from intimacy. Sometimes we confuse movement with progress. But real growth often happens beneath the surface roots deepening, strength forming. Just like a tree doesn't bear fruit every season, your spirit might be in a season of unseen growth. And that's okay. Now, take a breath again. Whisper in your heart, "Lord, I surrender this season to you." Maybe what feels like a divine delay is actually God's mercy. If He gave you what you wanted right now, it might overwhelm you. It might distract you from the very thing He's trying to build. A faith that can endure. A peace that isn't shaken by change. A trust that doesn't collapse when the plan looks different than expected. So what does surrender look like today? It might look like letting go of the timeline you've clung to, It might look like stopping the comparisons and returning to prayer. It might look like choosing to worship even when the answers haven't come. Waiting, after all, is not empty. It's a place where God meets us deeply. Isaiah 40-31 promises that those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. Waiting with God doesn't drain you, it renews you. It's not a punishment, it's preparation. And it's not about proving your faith, it's about anchoring it. Friend, maybe today is the day you stop trying to figure everything out. Maybe today is the day you stop asking, why the delay? And start asking, what are you forming in me through this? Can I encourage you to speak these words softly? I trust you, Lord, even when I can't see the end. I release my grip. I surrender my plans. I choose your timing over mine. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply stay. Stay rooted. Stay prayerful. Stay expectant, not in the outcome, but in the one who holds the outcome. And when doubt comes creeping in, don't silence it with guilt, bring it to God. Say, I believe, help my unbelief. That kind of honesty is sacred. That's where transformation begins. Let God interrupt your striving with stillness. Let Him interrupt your worry with worship. And even when your prayers seem to echo into silence, when the heavens feel like brass, remember, the silence is not rejection, it's refinement. God often speaks most profoundly in the quiet. Not with noise, not with signs that overwhelm, but with whispers that require closeness to hear. He's not far. He's near enough to whisper. And when you feel like giving up, that may be the very moment your faith is being made unshakable. There's something holy about staying when you feel like running. It's in those unseen choices where you remain steadfast, where you keep your heart soft, where you refuse to turn bitter, that the deep work is being done. Growth isn't always visible. Sometimes it's silent, but it's no less real. When God seems to be holding you back, it's not to punish, it's often to protect. The doors He closes may guard you from the things that would distract you from your purpose or fracture your soul before you're ready to carry what's next. I used to pray only for outcomes. Lord, open the door. Make a way. Answer now. But over time, my prayers have shifted. Now, I ask, Lord, change me while I wait. Align my heart with yours. Help me want what you want for me, not just what I think I need. This is the deep surrender we're invited to. It's not about pretending to enjoy the wait, but choosing to worship in it. It's choosing trust when you have every reason to worry. Choosing hope when logic says it's too late. And choosing to sit at His feet when it would be easier to run ahead. Waiting reveals what we trust in. If we trust in comfort, we'll become anxious. If we trust in our timeline, we'll grow frustrated. But if we trust in His heart, we'll find peace even in delay. Jesus isn't forming us for speed. He's forming us for depth. He isn't impressed by our hustle. He's moved by our humility. And sometimes, it's not about getting to the destination faster. It's about becoming more like Christ along the way. In this space of in-between, the Lord is untangling us from the things we thought defined us. He's removing our dependency on external validation. He's teaching us to find our identity not in how fast we move, not in how much we accomplish, but in simply being His. We are not what we do. We are not how quickly we get there. We are beloved. And there's great power in resting before Him while the world rushes past. Not passive waiting, but holy waiting. The kind that watches with expectancy, that listens in stillness, that prays not to manipulate but to align. A soul at rest is a soul that trusts, and that kind of faith is rare and beautiful. The world teaches us to measure progress by movement, but heaven measures by maturity. What if you're growing more now than ever before? What if your roots are going so deep that, in due time, your fruit will last for generations? God isn't in a hurry. He's never rushed. And when He finally moves, it will be worth every moment of the stillness that came before. Let these words settle. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not a failure because it hasn't happened yet. You are being written into a story that has eternal purpose. Your waiting is not wasted. It is worship. And when it's hard, you can rest in knowing that you don't need to understand the why, you only need to trust the who. This kind of surrender isn't weakness. It's spiritual strength. It's how we let go of the need to control outcomes and begin to rest in the truth that our God is not only sovereign, but good. So let that goodness hold you. Let it carry you. Let it quiet every anxious question and hush every fearful thought. Not because everything is figured out, but because you're held by the one who already sees the end from the beginning. And when the time comes, and it will, when God opens the doors, when the answer finally arrives, you will walk through it not only grateful but grounded. You will know that it wasn't just about receiving the blessing. It was about becoming someone who could steward it well. This is what God does in the wait. He doesn't just prepare the way. He prepares you. So if today feels slow, if it feels repetitive, if it feels unseen, lift your eyes. Look up. Trust again. Surrender again. Let go again. And say, God, even now, even here, I trust you. That is the kind of faith that changes the atmosphere. That is the kind of surrender that transforms delay into devotion. Even now, God is nearer than we think. Often, the waiting doesn't just test our patience. It tests our perspective. The longer the silence, the louder our doubts can become. But if we pause and shift our focus, we start to see what waiting really is: an altar. A place where our expectations are laid down and replaced with God's intentions. Not lesser things, but better things. Maybe not faster, but fuller. We often pray for what feels urgent, but God gives us what is eternal. That's why surrender matters. Because when we let go of our timeline, we make space for His transformation. I've learned that we can either resist the waiting or rest in it. We can rush to escape discomfort or lean in to embrace what it might teach us. It's in this space that God shapes our endurance, not the kind that grits its teeth, but the kind that glows with peace. A quiet, resilient strength that doesn't collapse under uncertainty. Faith doesn't always look like shouting from the mountaintop. Sometimes it's simply refusing to give up when everything around you says it's time to quit. Sometimes it's whispering, "You are still good," while everything inside you aches for answers. And if you're weary right now, you're not alone. God sees the exhaustion. He knows the tension between belief and confusion, between hope and hesitation. And He's not disappointed in you. On the contrary, He draws near to the brokenhearted, to the ones who wait with tear-stained prayers and shaky hands. You don't have to pretend to be strong. You just have to stay surrendered. Even if that surrender looks like offering God the same prayer day after day with nothing new but your breath behind it. That too is worship. Sometimes the miracle isn't that the situation changes, but that you do. That your fears lose their grip. That peace begins to anchor you. That you stop trying to force your way forward and begin to walk with God one quiet step at a time. And in those steps, He renews your strength. Maybe not all at once, but enough for today. Enough to keep going. Enough to trust again. enough to believe that the God who promised is faithful, even when the promise takes longer than you expected. If the wait stretches longer, let it stretch your faith, not your fear. If the doors stay closed, let it draw you closer, not distant. God is not late. He is building something you cannot see yet, a future rooted in trust, a heart shaped by surrender, and a life that no longer depends on how fast things happen, but on how deeply you know the one who holds time in his hands. If today's message reminded you that God is still working, even in the waiting, then let your heart respond with faith. Drop an amen in the comments if you're surrendering this season to him. And remember this, your delay is not your defeat. God is not withholding good from you. He's preparing you for the good. When his timing unfolds, you'll understand why the waiting was not just necessary, but sacred. So don't give up. Wait with hope. Wait with worship. Wait knowing that the God who promised is faithful to finish what he started in you. If you were blessed by this message, we invite you to like, share, and subscribe to Prayer Decode, where each video helps you grow deeper in prayer, stronger in faith, and more anchored in God's truth. Until next time, may the peace of Christ guard your heart, and may your waiting be filled with purpose. God bless you.